Yeah, hi there. These comments are for 6358. I'm just using the last four digits of your student ID number, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at Stealth, the 7-step system to pass a TOEFL IBT. And you're also one of my English 102B instructors at California State University, San Bernardino. And I'm going to comment on your essay right now. So, I do have some recommendations. I think before you get to the actual articles, I would include an introduction. An introduction which kind of sets up the three parts of the paper. So how do you do that? Let me give you an example. You might do something like this. You might say, in this assignment, I will introduce 3 articles from the San Bernardino Sun with a summary and a response, a letter to the editor for one of the articles, and a reflection response on all the articles in the assignment in general. So if you do that in the introduction before you get to your first summary, then it makes a lot more sense. Then we can figure out what's going to happen in the different parts of the essay. Now, when you get to your first paragraph, you say many troops, including men and women after the battle back home, have no place to sleep. It isn't clear who is saying this. So you have to start off your paragraph like this. You might want to say the editor in the article $1 billion in unspent aid isn't helping homeless vets claims that many troops, including men and women, come after the battle come back homeless. So if you use that in the beginning, then it's very clear where the information is coming from. So you want to make sure your point of view is focusing more on the writer and not just on the third person. So then when you get into the middle of your article where you say, when the passage of time no one take care of cleaning their house, you might say, with the passage of time, the editor says that there is no one to take care of cleaning their house. Again, you refer back to the editor, back to the article, so we know where this information is coming from. So you want to make sure you take these suggestions in paragraph 1, paragraph 3, and also paragraph number 5. So that's very important. So you need to restructure your summary paragraphs more so that it focuses around the writer's point of view. Now, if you're not sure how to do this, go to Google and type in the keywords. You might want to write this down. Type in the keywords, how to write a summary. And then you can find some good websites. You can even type in the keywords example academic summary, and then you can pull up a summary and you can see how the writer is framing the ideas from the writer's point of view, which you're not doing in those paragraphs I just pointed out. Now the next thing. In your response paragraphs, I think you're getting there. Paragraph 2, you have a source it looks like you used. In the 4th paragraph, which is also a response, you need to use an academic source there. I don't see one there. Okay, let's go to your next page. I'm on page 5 here. Yes, you do have a source in this one, it looks like. No, you don't. Maybe not. So maybe in the 2nd and 3rd articles, you want to make sure that you have an academic source in there to help support the argument you're trying to make. Now let me address what I call a tone problem with paragraph 2, also paragraph 4, and then paragraph 6. Okay, remember that what you do in the paragraph and how you structure the paragraph can greatly affect the tone. Obviously, if you're making a summary, you want to introduce the title, the author, and then state the main point of the article using your own words, and that sets more of a factual, informational tone. Now, when you get to arguing, you want to make a claim or state an assertion, and then back that up. So let's look at your topic sentence in the 2nd paragraph. You say, I think the soldiers of this country to go to war at any time may lose their lives and their safe return, but even the housing has become a problem. It doesn't really sound much like an argument. What are you agreeing or disagreeing with? So if you want to say something like, it is important, like the writer suggests, that the veterans have a home to return to when they come home for war. And then maybe you agree with the solution that the writer presents in the summary. So your response paragraph, paragraph 2, it sounds more like you're almost going to summarize all over again. It doesn't have much of an argument with it. So that would be a change I think you could make. Paragraph 4, you say McDonald's wants to make more products and sell it at a good price that is high enough to earn a profit but low enough to draw customers. You say accomplishing that task might be trickier if the company suddenly paid its employees just a living wage. So again, it's taking you a little bit too much time to get to your argument. State the claim in the topic sentence, and then you want to back that claim up, I think, with supporting evidence. So I think you could probably improve that paragraph also. Let's go to page 5, paragraph 6. You say, medical insurance has been one of the issues people are most concerned about. How to solve this problem better that need government and people together to discuss and practice a lot. Still, you don't really have an argument. You're getting into more of an argument by saying, I think a good government, every citizen's health must be protected effectively. But what is it exactly that you are agreeing or disagreeing with? If you go back to paragraph 5, you're talking about the Patient Protection and Affordable Health Care Act, and you're saying that it's a focus of the Congress and Senate debate. At least that's what the editor is saying, right? But even there, it isn't really clear what the argument is. It doesn't seem like there's much of an argument there, so you may have to actually change the topic there. Okay, let's take a look at your letter. I'm on page 7 now. I think this is okay. You say, I'm glad you wrote the article which lets readers know the real situation about the troops. I think the government, I would probably say here, how about the government doesn't make its obligation, how about doesn't meet its obligation to these people who fight with enemies through their life. We should properly deal with the problem of retired soldiers and so on. So I think this one is actually, you're doing what you're trying to do. You're having some language issues, but you are accomplishing, I think, the task there. But they're not going to publish this, I don't think. You probably have to polish it up a little bit more than what you're doing. Let's go to page 8 here. In page 8, I would probably, in paragraph 11, you say, in textbook and academic communities, they both have the same gender and class, but in textbook, their content have fewer race, just the local natives, and online they have various races and all kinds of politics problems. Political problems probably is a better word there. Okay, so statistically, how different do you think the online subscribers are from what you see in our classroom? It looks like in our classroom we have a fairly high number of Spanish-speaking students in the class. I think we have, what, 3? We have 3 Chinese students. We have 2 Arab students in our class. So you more or less answer that. Paragraph 12, you say, textbook have much shorter than online, and every writer have their own style, but textbook is easier to understand than online. Now, here's the thing now. Try to give an example at that point. Now, what do you mean by shorter? Are you saying that the sentence style, there's a shorter type sentence with the articles in the Sun versus the sentences that you see in our textbook? Is that what you mean by shorter? Now, if that's what you mean, then at that point you give an example. You provide a sample sentence from our textbook, And then you provide a sample sentence from the newspaper online, and then you show how the two sentence styles are different. So once you state that there is a difference and you explain what the difference is, it's a good idea now to give an example from both the textbook and then the online website to help illustrate that point. That helps give your writing a little bit more depth. Paragraph 13, you say, I would choose what I'm interested in the article which have more controversial topics to the letter to the editor. So again, you have to explain that a little bit more than what you're doing. You need to, why did you choose the one article instead of the other two? Did you think it was more interesting to you or your audience? Is that why you chose it? Did you have more knowledge and were you more comfortable writing about that particular topic? Paragraph 14, you say the style. The textbook should be more formal and more professional than the online, who's more local and entertaining, also relaxed tone. So again, you want to try to give a specific example here in paragraph 14 to help support what you're trying to say there. Now, in conclusion to this particular discussion of your paper, you do need a works cited section that you want to include at the end of the paper. The works cited section will list the 3 different articles that you summarized from the Sun newspaper, and the works cited section also needs to include 3 additional sources that you have found to help back up the arguments in paragraph 2, paragraph 4, and also paragraph 6. All right, let's take a look at your grade. I think you're getting there. Your paper is getting there, but you're not there yet. I'm going to give you a 68 out of 100. So, like I said, you can make some improvements, I think, with your structure, with the tone, providing more sources in there, and including a works cited section for the paper. All right, anyway, thank you very much for completing the assignment.